Welcome to my channel, English for All Reasons Good, based on the CBSE guidelines and syllabus. Here, we aim for high score through smart learning, optimum utilization of time, and less stress. In today's video, we are going to do the explanation of the 100 verses part 2, and in this video, there will be only explanation. For question answers, I'll make another video because during exams, in case you only want to revise question answers, you can do so. And of course, the videos will be shorter. So where we ended part 1. In part 1, we have read that Miss Mason says that it is unfortunate that Wanda is not there to receive her applause. She tells everyone to take a round and admire the efforts of their classmates. Peggy and Maddie, they are amazed to see the 100 dresses, and Peggy admits that Wanda is a better artist than her. Now from page 73, part 2. Miss Mason received a letter from Wanda's father and it said, "Dear teacher, my Wanda will not come to school anymore. Jake also. Now we move away to big city. No more holler Pollack. No more ask why funny name. Plenty of funny names in the big city. Yours truly, Jan Petronski." So it's quite a blunt letter. And Wanda's father makes it clear that Wanda and her brother Jake will not be coming to school anymore because of the bullying. So because the students there, they make fun of the strange name that they have. So Wanda Petronski and Jake Petronski. So holler Pollack, it means it is a word to show strong dislike for people of Polish descent. And he also says that they are moving to the big city because in big city there are many immigrants like them. So already everyone is aware of the strange names that they have. So no one will make fun of their names in big city. So the reason the father makes it clear, and Wanda therefore has not been coming to school. There was complete silence in the class. Miss Mason was upset at the behavior of her students, and she says, "I'm sure that none of the boys and girls in room 13 would purposely and deliberately hurt anyone's feelings because his or her name happened to be a long, unfamiliar one. I prefer to think that what was said in thoughtlessness. I know that all of you feel the way I do. That is a very unfortunate thing to have happened. Unfortunate and sad both. And I want you all to think about it." So this is what the teacher says. Now obviously what had happened, it had already happened. And the teacher tells the students that she hopes that all that was said and done, it was done in thoughtlessness. And she asked the students to think about it. So to think about it because it was already done, Wanda was not there, so they could not apologize to her. So she asked the students to introspect. So now on page number 74, Maddie is restless throughout the day. So after listening to this letter, Maddie becomes quite restless. So she is not able to concentrate on her studies. She felt she was responsible for all that had happened. So what's going on in her mind? Why is she feeling responsible? Maddie was remorseful. Goodness, wasn't there anything she could do? So all the time she was thinking that is there anything that I can do to make it right? So she now just wanted a chance to tell Wanda that they never had meant to hurt her feelings. She wanted an approval from Peggy. So she looked at her. But Peggy was busy in her studies. She was working hard. But Peggy was normal. Nothing was bothering her. So Mary desperately wanted to do something, but Maggie was not able to take out Wanda from her mind. She desperately wanted to do something. Well, whether Peggy felt badly or not, Maddie, had to do something. She had to find Wanda Petronski. Maybe she had not yet moved away. Maybe Peggy would climb the heights with her and they would tell Wanda she had won the contest, that they thought she was smart and the 100 dresses were beautiful. So this was what was going on in her mind. She was thinking that maybe Wanda is still packing. They have not left the house, they have not left the city, so maybe they can catch her up and they can apologize to whatever had happened. So on page 75, after school, Peggy suggested to Maddie to go and check whether Wanda had left or not. So it was a surprise for Maddie because Peggy herself suggested that let's go and check. The girls started for Boggins Height. On the way, Peggy justified her actions. So Peggy also had something going on in her mind, though it was not that sharp as it was in Maddie's. So Peggy said, "Well, at least," said Peggy gruffly, "I never did call her a foreigner or make fun of her name. I never thought she had the sense to know we were making fun of her anyway. I thought she was too dumb. And gee, look how she can draw." So Peggy is justifying her actions and she is telling Maddie gruffly. Gruffly means bluntly, sharply, or abruptly. So she is telling Mary that I never called her a foreigner or I never made fun of her strange name. And she says that moreover, I thought that she was too dumb to understand that we were making fun of her. But Peggy says, "Look how well she can draw." So Peggy is also surprised to see her drawings. Maddie, on the other hand, she was hoping that they would find Wanda at her place so that they could apologize for her behavior and tell how talented she was. So, all the time when Peggy was saying this, Maddie had only one thing in her mind. She was going towards the house and maybe praying that Wanda should be there, Wanda should be there. So, Mary wanted to tell her that everyone was praising her for her extraordinary drawings. Mary also wanted to ask her to stay and that everybody would be nice to her. So now Mary wanted to apologize and to tell her that please don't go, everything would be right again. If anybody tried to pick on her again, she and Peggy would fight them. So now she was even ready to tell her that if anybody tried to pick on her, anybody tried to tease her again, she and Peggy would fight and she and Peggy would stand for her. So with this in mind, the girls hurried on. So Maddie's mind, it was hovering with all these thoughts, and the girls, they moved towards Boggins Heights. Betty just hoped to find her. She wanted to make up for her cowardliness. I think that's where Petronskis live. So suddenly they see one house, a lonely white house, and they point out to that house and say that this is where I think Petronskis live, said Maddie, pointing to a little white house. Wisps of old grass stuck up here and there along the pathway like thin kittens. The house and its sparse little yard looked shabby but clean. It reminded Maddie of Wanda's one dress, her faded blue cotton dress, shabby but clean. So the house, it was shabby. The yard, it was shabby, but it looked clean. So shabby means it was old in style. Maybe the tiles, they were broken. There were no decorative items. So it was shabby, but it was neat and clean. No dirt. So it reminded Mary of Wanda's one blue faded dress. So that dress was also old. It was shabby. It was faded, but it was always clean. But they were not able to find Wanda. She had already left. So the house, it was lonely. They tried to knock at the door, then they went back and they tried to knock at the back door also, but there was no reply, no answer. So the Petronskis, they had already left. So now on page 76, the girls, they started back. Peggy said that since she was gone, there was nothing more that they could do. So obviously, when they were on their way back, so Peggy said that we've tried our best, they've already gone, so there's now nothing that they could do. It wasn't a grave affair for Peggy. So actually, it wasn't a very important affair for Peggy. She only wanted to try for once that maybe Wanda was there. To cover her guilt, she said that when she was asking Wanda about her dresses, she was actually getting ideas. So, this is what Peggy says that when she was asking about 100 dresses every day, so Wanda was getting ideas to draw more and more dresses. If she had not asked her anything, maybe she would not have won the contest. So, don't you smell arrogance here? So, here, this is Peggy, little arrogant rich girl. So she says that if I had not been asking about the dresses, so maybe she wouldn't have drawn those dresses and she wouldn't have won the contest. Maddie for a moment was convinced about this idea. For if there were anything in it, she would not have felt so badly. So now Maddie also started thinking that maybe there's something that's correct about that idea. But then, on the other hand, Maddie again thought that if there was anything right in this idea, why is she feeling still so bad? But still she was restless. She could not sleep. She thought about Wanda all the time. Her faded dress, shabby house, beautiful drawings, all this was disturbing for her. So Mary, quite a sensitive girl, isn't it? Then she comes to a conclusion. She was never going to stand by and say nothing again. If she ever heard anybody picking on someone because they were funny looking or because they had strange names, she would speak up, even if it meant losing Peggy's friendship. She had no way of making things right with Wanda, but from now on, she would never make anybody else that unhappy again. So now she has made up a decision. She has taken a decision. She promises to herself that from now onwards, nothing like this would happen ever again. She was not able to defend Wanda, but she would not let anything like this to happen with anyone else. She's not going to see anybody be made so unhappy from now onwards. So on page 77, next the girls they then try to write a letter to Wanda. So just a friendly letter to mention that she had won the contest and how beautiful her drawings were. Something about her new school and teacher, whether she liked them and the place where she lived. They wanted to say sorry, but it ended to be a friendly letter signed off with lots of love. So actually, they wanted to say sorry, but they could not. So for Peggy, if Wanda was not a friend, she was not even an enemy. So she just meant harmless fun. So Peggy actually meant harmless fun. So therefore, she felt that it was a friendly thing and Wanda was not able to digest it. So Wanda felt hurt, but I did not mean to hurt. So maybe that is why it just ended as a friendly letter and not an apology letter. So they just wanted to show that they cared for her and she has won the competition. Her drawings they were beautiful and there is no ill feelings between them. So now the wait started. Wait for what? Wait for a reply. So first days pass, then weeks, but there's no reply. Maddie was the anxious one for the reply. Since the letter did not come back, so the girls felt that Wanda had received the letter, but she was so hurt that she did not reply for the letter. But Peggy had almost forgotten about the whole episode. So Maddie was very anxious. She wanted to receive back a reply so that her thoughts they are a little quietened. But Peggy, she was not that anxious, and it was just an episode for her that had passed. So Peggy was almost getting used to in her daily routine, and she had almost forgotten about the whole episode. Maddie, the sensitive one, could not sleep. She would see Wanda in her dreams being teased, and she would defend her like a hero. But it all happened in her dreams. So, all the time, she could see Wanda standing alone and the girls surrounding her and teasing her. And in her dreams, she would defend her like a hero. She would stand by, she would go there, and she would rescue Wanda. But it all happened in dreams. Only if she had the courage to say that one word stop in real time. Everybody would have felt ashamed, like Wanda was embarrassed due to those questions. So, only if she had this courage that she showed in her dreams and in real time she had shouted this word stop at Peggy and the other girls, then these girls would have felt ashamed, like Wanda felt embarrassed due to those questions. So she was now thinking about all this, but now it was too late. It was Christmas time, the last day of school before the holidays, and the teacher came in with letter. What? Again, a letter. So now on page 78, what this time? The previous one had made them guilty. So all the students actually they were made guilty by the previous letter and now there's another letter. So the teacher began. You remember Wanda Petronski, the gifted little artist who won the drawing contest. So there was a sudden interest in the class. And this is what the letter says. Dear Miss Mason, how are you and room 13? Please tell the girls they can keep all those 100 dresses because in my new house I have 100 new ones, all lined up in my closet. I would like that girl Peggy to have the drawing of the green dress with the red trimming and her friend Maddie to have the blue one. For Christmas, I missed at school and my new teacher does not equalize with you. Merry Christmas to you and everybody. Yours truly, Wanda Petronski. So, this is the letter that is received by the teacher. Now, in this letter, if we have a careful look of the letter, Wanda writes, I would like that girl Peggy. So that girl Peggy, it shows that Wanda did not have or did not felt that close bond with these girls. So these girls, Peggy and Maddie, they did think that Wanda liked them, but obviously not that close bond. Otherwise, Wanda would not have written in the letter like that. That girl Peggy and her friend Maddie. So this is the letter and she gives Peggy and Maddie one dress each. So let's see what happens after this. So with their drawings in their hands, Peggy and Maddie they started for their homes. On the way, the air smelled like Christmas. So air smelled like Christmas means that all around there were fragrances of dishes and cakes and all other things that were prepared during Christmas. So sweet fragrances in the air that told that Christmas is around. So excitedly, Peggy announced, Boy, said Peggy, this shows she really likes us. It shows she got our letter, and this is her way of saying that everything's all right. And that's that. So Peggy says that this shows that she has got our letter, she had received the letter, and everything is okay between us. So that is why she has gifted these drawings to us. And that's that. Now, that is very important here. So, with this, Peggy is actually announcing that this episode is closed. So, they have reciprocated, Wanda has reciprocated. So, now everything is okay, no ill feelings anywhere. And on the other hand, with Miss Mason, when she receives the letter, Miss Mason is quite happy because now she says that she has the address. At least she could send the medal to Wanda. So Wanda will receive the medal. The girls, they have received the drawings as a gift from Wanda. So to Peggy, it seems that everything is okay now. But was it so simple? Did Peggy assume that Wanda liked them? So maybe Peggy is assuming too much that Wanda was not at all hurt and it was okay with Wanda. I mean, would you like a person who teases you? So it's a big question, and Wanda was not there to answer. If this is so, if Wanda has actually forgiven the girl, so Wanda is really forgiving. She has a big heart, which makes her richer than Peggy. And when it comes to Maddie, she is again the sulking one. So Maddie, she is not yet convinced. To Peggy's excitement, she sadly says, I hope so. So when Peggy announces that that's that, now it's over, everything is fine. So Maddie still says, I hope so. I mean, what does Maddie want? Why has she become so obsessed with Wanda? Why is she brooding now? Maddie knew it was too late now to seek a face to face apology. The guilt was pricking her. She reached her home, pinned that drawing on the wall. Her shabby room brightened at once with that painting. For quite some time, she kept on looking at that drawing and thought how nice Wanda had been to her. Thinking about Wanda, she had tears in her eyes. So, looking at that drawing, she thought about Wanda. She thought about lonely girl, lonely in the school, sitting all alone in the corner and being teased by girls. So, thinking all about this, she had tears in her eyes. Then suddenly, on page number 79, we have she realized there was something more to the picture. A face? Yes, a face. The dress did have a face, but it looked like her. Betty, it really looked like her own mouth. Why, it really looked like her own self. Wanda had really drawn this for her. So excitedly, she ran over to Peggy. As she entered Peggy's room, Wanda's drawing was lying face down on the bed, and Maddie carefully erased it. Now, well, since that drawing it was lying face down on Peggy's bed, so that shows that Peggy did not give much importance to that drawing. So it was okay for her that Wanda had reciprocated with a nice gesture. Look, she drew you. That's you, she exclaimed. And the head and the face of this picture did look like Peggy. What did I say? Said Peggy. She must have really liked us anyway. So, Peggy, to this again. She is saying that I told you that Wanda liked us. So, this is like Peggy telling her, look, I told you nothing is wrong. So, once again, Peggy gets a chance to tell that everything is all right, there's no problem. Yes, she must have, agreed Maddie, and she blinked away the tears that came every time she thought of Wanda standing alone in that sunny spot in the schoolyard, looking stolidly over at the group of laughing girls after she had walked off, after she had said, sure, 100 of them all lined up. So now, when Maddie realizes that there was a face on the drawing, so one face was Maddie's and other was Peggy's. So she really thought that maybe Peggy is right and Wanda had drawn those drawings actually keeping them in mind. So Wanda had forgiven them. So thinking about this, she wipes her tears and she is feeling better now. So this last paragraph, it is comforting. So at last Maddie is at peace and all is well that ends well. So with this, the story ends. So obviously now these two thumbnails, this is explanation and questions of 100 Dresses part 1, and these are the themes and the character sketches of Wanda, Peggy and Maddie. Their links I'll give in the description box, and question answers of part 2 will be in the next video. So for now, do subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up. In the playlist I have other videos, so there you can look at all the videos, whichever you want to see you can see there. And do tell me, did you find this video helpful? Follow me on Instagram so that you keep an update on my next videos, and share this video with your friends. Thank you very much. Until the next video, see you.